Assalamualaikum, and we're back with another episode of Hijabae in the City with me, Sarah Hildebrand.
And me, Hannah Ismail.
Today we have a pretty cool topic which I think everyone relates to, and that is having to do with social media. I feel like nowadays everybody is like so fixated and exposed to like social media and everyone's lives, and sometimes we kind of get lost into it.
Yes, and I think part of it also attributes to why people tend to lose more and more of their attention span when it comes to everything, be it learning, be it performing your ibadah, be it working, and also when you're around with your family and your friends. It's as if your body is there, but spiritually your soul is not there at all, because you're so, like you said, fixated and attached to our phones and whatever the gadgets that we have. I want to read something from this article from the internet.
Please.
That says that the average attention span is down from 12 seconds in the year 2000 to 8 seconds now. This article was written in 2018. So that is less than the 9-second attention span of your average goldfish.
Oh my
How
gosh.
bad is that?
That is really bad. We're worse than goldfish.
Matter of factly, if we look at it, if the fact that we're not present in the real world somewhat affected a lot of our daily lives, such as performing ibadah, learning, working, your time spent with your family and friends. It's as if your body is there, but your soul is nowhere to be found.
That's true. I realize, sometimes when we're hanging out, like with friends or family, everybody is just so, into their phones, and we hardly even have conversations anymore. We hardly talk anymore. We hardly connect in that way anymore. And, sometimes it's just, there's so much to be doing on the phones, not just social media, but games and stuff like that people are just, every second they can get, when they're not doing anything else, they'll just turn to their phones immediately. Remember, we used to play games, card games, or we used to actually be in conversations, but now it's just for example, Raya, everybody's eating, and after they salam and everything, and everybody, after everything's done, everybody just starts to lounge on the couches with their phones, and then that's it.
Yeah. I think the trend and also the habit is quite worrying, because I kind of miss the old times when mobile phones is much less complicated than it is now, much less savvy than it is now, because I used to remember all my family members' phone numbers, their office numbers.
I can't remember anything now.
And now I cannot remember anything except for my parents' phone number. I don't even remember my siblings' phone number.
Yeah.
By right, they're my siblings.
That's true.
So I just felt that, this is very worrying. It's actually affecting my mind and the way my mind works and the way my mind thinks. I can just easily shut down just like that.
Oh my God, I know. You just lose focus.
Yes, and just shut down, and even though people in front of me are telling me some things, I can just okay. Just my response was okay, and she or he will be okay with it.
And that's just that.
Yeah, and that's just that.
And you don't even really know if you're listening or not.
Exactly. I mean, can you imagine if we are doing this normally, moreover if we actually performing our salah? That's the reason why sometimes we cannot do things right, because spiritually we're not connected to anything, not even our God.
That's true. I also feel when someone's attention span is so short, how are they supposed to perform ibadah in a deep way? How are you supposed to connect when you're performing salah if your attention span is super short and you're anxious to go and do something else, and you get bored easily?
And I think nowadays that with the presence of phone, I think you started to question people's intention, because when people say that they like to travel, they travel for the sake of taking pictures.
Oh yeah, instead of really actually traveling and experiencing their vacation.
Yes. Because they just want to this is, I go here and I go there, but what do you actually learn from your travels?
Right.
And when people go to perform their umrah, don't get me wrong, I'm not being judgy for people who bring their phones or whatever, because I bring my phone to the haram as well when I perform my umrah. But then must you always
update, and must you always constantly be taking photos?
Yes. I mean, were you really focusing, or on the ibadah, or were you like thinking of, okay, what's next? What am I supposed to post next?
Oh, like, should I go here just because, like, this is a pretty place? Like, I need to take a picture and show everyone I was here?
Yes.
Or is it because you wanted to be there and you wanted to learn about it, or you wanted to, be present?
Exactly. It doesn't matter if be it travels or be it performing your ibadah, but also the things that you like. Say, like, if you actually really like reading? Do you actually like cooking? Do you actually like performing all the sports activities?
Or are you doing it for the sake of a show?
So I think social media and your phone and whatever gadgets that you have is the biggest distraction.
Yeah, you're full, like, it's blocking you from like becoming your full potential of what you can be, or like doing something fully, putting full throttle to do something. Like, for example, if you're an artist, when you draw, you really like focus and
like, do you really put your heart and soul to it?
But like nowadays, I feel like when people do work, it's just so distracting. Like, they're constantly thinking, like, maybe like, oh, I should check Instagram because like maybe something, I don't want to be left out, or I don't want to miss anything.
Yeah, but really, I think the best question that you have to ask yourself is, if you tinggalkan lah the social media, maybe like you give some time like for like 2 or 3 days, do you like really miss out those important things that you consider important? Is it really important to you?
I don't think so. I mean, I've tried doing that before. Like, if I'm especially if I'm with friends or family, I always make it a point to leave my phone in my bag and just not check on it until I'm done, like, socializing with my friends and family.
Yes.
Or if I'm on holiday, I make it a point to not check my phone as often as I do, like, when I'm at work or on a daily basis.
Yes.
And I feel like, actually, no, I don't need it. And I feel so much happier without it.
I guess it's true. But sometimes I think, especially in our line of work, the freelancers, we
always
find ourselves hard for us to like put away our phones for as long as we want. Because sometimes there's always projects and there's always people,
we're always having to like reply messages, reply emails, and not to mention we always have to post on social media because nowadays social media kind of dictates like your jobs and everything.
True, and most of them, they expect us to reply promptly.
Oh my God, yes. But sometimes you're just like, oh, I don't want to touch my phone, but you have to. It's a requirement now.
Maybe we should like really put a strong stand to ourselves. Like, can you please not message me like after 8 p.m.?
Yeah, to me, 10 o'clock is my time. Like, I'll just be like, okay, 10.
Yeah.
Anyone who messages me after 10, I will not reply. Until tomorrow morning.
Okay. Right. Yeah, I understand that sometimes a lot of us wants to get the job done as fast as possible, but know that everything has its timing,
Yeah, and that's where patience comes in.
Yes, that's where patience comes in. And I think because of that and because of this, we lack the patience, That's why we can see a generation yang nak results immediately.
Rushed,
Yes, rushed. Everything nak dapat benda cepat,
And senang, easy.
Yes, they want to have instant gratification instead of a longer term, and which I think is more satisfying sebenarnya in the end. But yeah, of course, because we don't have that patience to wait.
Yeah, that's true.
How can we overcome this?
I think it all comes down to practicing, self-discipline, setting your foot down to certain things. I think everybody needs to make it a point to I guess it's kind of like sort of like setting goals. Like, you need to like tell yourself, okay, when I get home, I'm going to take like a few hours off. I'm not going to check my phone. I'm not going to check my computer. And then maybe at a certain time, that's when I only reply emails. Like, maybe only at 8 p.m., I'm going to reply all the emails before I go to bed. Or, only in the morning when I wake up, I'm going to reply the emails. And then after that, I'm not going to check my phone until maybe lunchtime or, something like that.
Yeah, I
what
totally
do you think?
agree. I totally agree on that. We have to have a sort of discipline to ourselves, and we have to stick to it. We have to persevere with whatever that we have set our goals at. At the same time, I remember this one ustaz that says, if you want your life to be corrected, start correcting your salah.
Yes.
Once you start correcting your salah, once you start focusing on your salah, subconsciously, it will help you to focus better.
That makes
to
sense.
focus at things better.
Yeah, I was about to mention something along those lines as well. I think like when we start to focus in our ibadah and our salah, like I think automatically like we'll start to focus when we do other things as well.
Yes, because basically it's like a training, you know. It's just like you driving your car. You know, once you start, you know how to handle the gear and whatnot. You can easily cruise the car. You know.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. You know, basically salah is like the top. So once you fulfill that,
it's the core.
Yeah, it's the core. Once you fulfill that, no, it's from the bottom, right? Salah is
the pyramid.
Yeah, the pyramid of Maslow apa tu? The pyramid of Maslow needs tu. Bawah tu you need to fill in. So once the root is strong, then the rest is
it'll follow.
Senang je.
Yeah.
Maybe we should start with our salah. How can we be more focused when performing our salah and juga ibadat? I rasa easily try to understand all the meanings. As you recite, make sure that when you perform your salah, when you recite, you can listen to whatever that you're reciting.
Yeah.
So if you can't even listen to whatever that you are reciting, you are not doing it right. So listening to whatever that you're reciting is actually crucial to help you focus.
Right. You know, when you understand, like, you know, how we, we recite our du'as in Arabic. And once we, some people, maybe they don't know the meaning. So they just kind of read through, they just memorize and they just read through and get it over with. But if we really, really like learn the meanings, even like the really short surahs, you know, when we listen to ourselves reciting it, I think our focus will start to get better and we'll start to practice like, okay, I really know this, I really understand this, I can listen to myself, and eventually I think that will carry on into our daily lives with with everything that we do.
If I were to speak from my experience, the way I learn how to train myself to be more focused in my salah is that I make sure that my surroundings where I want to perform my salah is really clean, because sometimes benda tu akan really,
it's distracting.
It really distract me, you know. It's clean, you know, my sajadah is clean, and I like my telekong, you know, I make sure that everything is beautiful. So because I want to go and meet my creator, you know, at that very moment. So I make sure that the moment is perfect, just as much as maybe we should put more emphasis. If we nak jumpa boyfriend ke nak berhias cantik-cantik, we should do more when we want to meet our creator.
For our ibadah. So like as much effort as we put into things that we like and love doing, we should do that in our everyday lives, especially with our ibadah.
Yes. It's like train yourself that you are meeting your creator. This is someone really, really special, and he is the one who actually wants to give you everything.
Yes.
So make sure that this is the one time, this is your one very moment that you want to like come and meet him, and make sure that you really want to make sure that he actually listens to you.
What if it's your last day on earth?
Yes, yeah.
You
always
know?
treat it like that, you know? So everything is precious. And I think it's best that you can actually put meaning to everything. You know, that's why I kind of like sentimental people.
Oh my god, I love.
It's not that because I understand coming from their sensitive hearts, because everything brings about meaning to them.
I appreciate sensitive people.
Yes, you know. And I think we have to start becoming more sensitive and sentimental to our
more empathetic
to the people around us and to things that we bought and we buy, you know. Put more meaning to whatever that you're using, to people that you meet. Put more meaning to it.
Yeah, put more meaning, because time is precious, and you know, there's so much more to life. There's so many things that you can do and explore than just exploring your Instagram.
And I think this is why Islam, as much as we emphasize on our tawheed, we also emphasize a lot on our adab. They say if you put more manners and adab to some things, you are even more focused and more present to whatever that you're doing.
It is true.
Everything ada tertib dan juga aturan.
Yeah. So once you start applying these things, you'll slowly start seeing, and you will start understanding that, oh, so this is why we're asked to do these kind of things.
Yeah. So have more effort to understand why you're doing things rather than just doing it.
True.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think that was like a very deep conversation that we're having.
I know, from social media to ibadah.
I know, right?
Yeah, and we would love to hear from you guys. Tell us what how long is your attention span, or like how long do you actually spend with your phones, and what is it that you do to try to like drive yourself away from the toxic social media, and maybe like to live your lives? What do you guys do? Let us know.
#Hijabae in the city. So inshallah we'll see you guys.
Yeah, and to all those listening out there, don't forget, you can always hit us up on Twitter and Instagram and even Facebook if you find us, and let us know if you have any ideas or suggestions that you'd like to talk about.
Assalamualaikum.